Would you rather experience luxury inside a private ship within a ship, or sail on a vessel where the entire ship feels exclusive? A lot of cruisers end up on one side or the other, Yacht Club or MSC Explora journeys, looking across, asking what they might be missing, and whether it's the same experience. One is about stepping away from the crowd into a protected world of priority, privacy, and structure. The other one is about removing the crowd altogether and letting the entire ship breathe at the same level.
In this video, we're not here to crown a winner. We're here to help you understand which experience actually fits you. Because these two cruises feel very different, even before you step on board.
We're Chris and Emily from Sweden, a travel-loving family who enjoy high-end cruising and discovering unique places along the way. Luxury isn't just about what you receive, it's about how that service reaches you. In the MSC Yacht Club, service is built around structure. There is a clear boundary between the yacht club and the rest of the ship. You have a dedicated restaurant, a private lounge, a private sun deck, and a butler team assigned to a defined group of guests. This creates a service model based on familiarity. The same waiter, the same sommelier, the same faces every day. Preferences are remembered quickly, routines form naturally, and service becomes highly personal. For many guests, this feels reassuring, predictable, efficient, protected.
Explora Journeys takes a different approach. There is no private zone within the ship. Instead, the entire ship operates at one level. Service follows you across venues, not from a fixed team but through a shared standard. You meet different staff in different spaces. Sommeliers are assigned per restaurant. Service is professional, polished and calm, but less anchored to repetition. The experience feels lighter, less directed, more self-paced.
So, this is how we would express it, based purely on our own experience. Yacht Club is luxury through structure. Explora Journeys is luxury through freedom. Neither is better, but they feel very different.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing. As we go through this video, we'll ask you a few simple questions. There are no right or wrong answers, just notice which side feels more like you. So far, we talked about service, about being guided or moving freely. But service is only part of the story, because no matter how the ship serves you, at the end of the day, you return to your own space. And how that space feels changes how the entire cruise feels. So now, let's move on to something more personal. Cabins and private space, how you live, how you move, and how you retreat.
Before we go into how these cabins feel, here's the context we're using. We're comparing MSC Yacht Club entry-level suites with Explora Ocean Terrace categories, OT1 through OT4. In the Yacht Club, a butler is always included with all suites. On Explora, butler service begins at a higher cabin tier, 2 steps above the base Ocean Terrace. In the Yacht Club, the cabin is designed to separate you from the rest of the ship. It's a space that acts like a buffer between you and the ship's energy. This is where you come to rest, to be quiet, to reset. For many guests, the cabin becomes their space away from everything. The balcony is there, but it feels secondary. 2 chairs and a small footrest, simple and functional. The focus is inside. Calm here comes from separation.
On Explora journeys, the cabin is designed to connect you, not separate you. It feels like a continuation of the ship and of the sea around you. Many guests keep the balcony doors open. The cabin becomes a base, not a destination. Light, air, and the ocean are always present. The balcony isn't secondary here. It's a core part of daily life. Lounge-like, used often, lived in. Calm on Explora comes from openness.
This is the core difference. Yacht Club cabins help you stay away from the ship, grouped together inside a Yacht Club complex. Explora cabins keep you gently connected to it. Neither approach is better, but they create very different rhythms. And that rhythm carries forward into how you dine. Before we step out into the restaurants and public spaces, let's stay right here, inside the cabin. Because how food reaches you here says a lot about how each experience is designed. Both Yacht Club and Explora offers 24-hour dining in the suite, but the intention behind it is very different.
In Yacht Club, 24-hour room service is included and reliable. There's a dedicated Yacht Club menu, separate from the rest of the ship's room service. Food is delivered directly to your cabin, efficiently, consistently, and without friction. Breakfast works well, but the selection is fairly focused, and overall, dining here feels functional rather than inspiring. That's because Yacht Club cabins aren't designed around dining. Dining is something that's brought into the space, not something that the space itself invites.
On Explora, in-suite dining feels fundamentally different. You still have 24-hour service, but the experience is more integrated. Breakfast is a real standout here, both in quality and variety. You can order from this extensive menu, and the presentation feels closer to a high-end hotel than a traditional room service. The cabin itself invites you to sit, stay, and eat, especially with the balcony that feels like a natural extension of the room. Here, dining doesn't just arrive at your door. It becomes a part of how you live with the ship and the sea.
It may look like a small difference on paper, but on board, it changes how often you eat in your cabin and whether the cabin feels like a stop or a place you stay. But of course, dining doesn't stop at the cabin door. So let's step outside and look at how Yacht Club and Explora approach dining across the ship. When people compare Yacht Club and Explora journeys, food quality is often the first thing that comes up. From our experience, the overall dining quality on Explora is a bit higher and more consistent. But that's not what really defines the difference. Because this chapter isn't about how good the food is, it's about how dining fits into your day, how flexible it feels, and how much choice or simplicity you want around every meal.
In the Yacht Club, dining is built around one clear anchor. There is one dedicated private restaurant reserved only for Yacht Club guests. You return to the same dining room with the same staff and the same overall rhythm each day. Menus rotate, but always within a familiar framework. The quality is consistently good and the presentation familiar and the atmosphere is calm. This restaurant is fully shielded from the main ship. There are no crowds, no lines, low noise. For breakfast and lunch, Yacht Club guests also have access to the sun deck bar and grill. It adds a touch of flexibility during the day without changing the overall dining structure, and that's by design. Yacht Club dining is not about expanding choices, it's about removing decisions so you don't have to think.
Explora Journeys takes a very different approach. There is no main dining room. Instead, there are multiple restaurants, all with equal status. Several venues are included in the fare, with open seating. Only one restaurant, Anthology, is positioned as a true specialty experience. What's different is how dining feels. On Explora, Dining feels like specialty dining throughout the ship. The baseline quality is high across all venues. Guests move between restaurants, change locations often, and let meals become part of the journey. Dining here is not a scheduled destination. Explora doesn't remove decisions. It gives you the freedom to make them.
So the contrast is simple. Yacht Club offers one clear dining anchor. In our experience, Yacht Club reduces choice by design. Explora offers multiple dining paths with equal status, and that design invites choice. Neither approach is better, but they create a very different dining rhythms. And now that you've seen how each one works, let's pause for a moment. Because the next part isn't about food quality, it's about which dining style actually fits you. This is Act 2 of the quiz.
None of these answers are right or wrong. They're simply about what feels natural to you. Some people relax when choices are made for them. Others relax when they're free to choose. And that brings us to the spaces beyond the cabin and restaurants. How you move through the ship, where you spend your time, and how the atmosphere around you feels. Public spaces are where a cruise really reveals itself, not through design, but through energy, through movement, and through how people share space. Because this isn't about pools or lounges, it's about crowd psychology, about rhythm, and about how much or how little energy you want around you. Some people relax when the atmosphere is curated and contained. Others relax when it's open, fluid, and allowed to change. Yacht Club and Explora journeys handle this very differently, and once you feel it, it shapes your entire day. The Yacht Club is designed as a ship within a ship. Its purpose is separation. Yacht Club spaces are intentionally protected, gated, capacity controlled. You almost always see the same faces, the crowd size is predictable, and the atmosphere rarely surprises you. This creates calm through insulation and relaxation through predictability. The Topsail Lounge becomes the social heart, a place guests return to again and again. During the day, the Yacht Club sundeck becomes the default space. One main pool, controlled sunbeds, no hunt for shares. Guests rotate between a small number of familiar locations. Over time, these spaces start to feel owned by the group. Staff presence is constant and visible. They quietly manage pace, service, and energy. Events are planned, cocktail moments, themed afternoons. The result is a protected bubble. With a steady, even pulse, full-scale entertainment still exists on the ship. Large productions are available outside the Yacht Club.
On Explora, there is no physical separation between guest groups. There is no elite zone, no gated areas, and no sense of being inside or outside. Spaces are shared, but they are spread out. The passenger to space ratio is very high, so the atmosphere doesn't come from enforcement. It emerges from who shows up. There is no single main lounge. Instead, there are multiple lounges, all with equal status. No space feels like the place you're expected to be. There are multiple pools, each with different mood. Quiet pools and social pools coexist, often within view of each other. Pools are visually connected to the sea, and sunbeds rarely feel contested. There are no large production shows. Entertainment is ambient. Live music, piano, DJs, and small performances. Entertainment blends into the space instead of pulling you out of them.
Both experiences feel calm, but they arrive in different ways. Yacht Club creates atmosphere by shaping the environment. Explora lets atmosphere emerge on its own, two paths to the same goal, with very different energy. When people compare cruises, they often talk about ships and cabins. But what also shapes the experience is how your days unfold: ports, sea days, and the rhythm in between.
In the Yacht Club, days have a clear structure. Port days feels efficient and smooth, priority disembarkation, easy tendering, and a calm return to the ship. The ship becomes a comfortable base between destinations. Sea days follow a well-known rhythm. The sun deck, the lounge. Relaxation comes from predictability. You know where to go and what the day will look like.
On Explora, days feel more open, ports feel optional rather than central. Explorer excursions feel more curated but not always fundamentally different. Others stay on board without feeling like they're missing anything. Multiple lounges, pools, and dining venues reduce the psychological need to leave the ship. The ship itself becomes the destination, and there is no strong port rush energy on board Explora.
So yes, Yacht Club makes port days easier by handling the transitions for you. Explora make port days feel more open by letting you move at your own rhythm. But ports are only part of the picture. What really shapes your experience is the atmosphere you return to. Let's pause here and see which rhythm feels more like you.
Up to now, we talked about how these experiences feel based on our own time on board. This guide is built entirely on our personal experiences, and of course, others may feel differently. Now let's talk about what these experiences are actually worth, because value in luxury cruising isn't universal, it's deeply personal.
With Yacht Club, much of the value comes from what is removed from your day. You're paying for priority, for separation, for service that absorbs problem before they reach you. The butler handles details, the spaces are protected. The dining is familiar. You don't think about where to go or how to get there, or whether something will be available. The real value of Yacht Club is not abundance, it's reduction. Less friction, less decision making, luxury through structure.
With Explora journeys, value shows up differently. Here, you're not paying for priority or separation, you're paying for space, for consistency, for quality that exists everywhere, without asking for it. Dining feels included, not unlocked. Lounges feel equal, not ranked. You move freely, you choose naturally, and the luxury comes from knowing that wherever you end up, it will already feel good. The real value of Explora is not control, it's freedom. Luxury through openness.
So the difference isn't really about price. And it's not only about what's included, it's about how luxury reaches you. Yacht Club creates value by taking things away. Handling, guiding, protecting. Explora creates value by giving space, letting you decide, drift, and stay open. Neither approach is better, but one of them will maybe feel more valuable to you.
Before we wrap this up, there is one important thing to say. Neither of these experiences is for everyone, and knowing who they don't fit is just as important as knowing who they do.
Yacht Club may not be the right fit for you if you don't enjoy structure. It's designed around simplicity, the same spaces, the same rhythm, the same flow each day. If visible priority or separation from the rest of the ship feels uncomfortable, or if you prefer blending in rather than standing out, Yacht Club can feel a bit too defined. It's also not ideal if you relax more by deciding for yourself rather than having things handled for you. Explora journeys may not be for you if you expect constant staff presence. Service here is quieter, more in the background. If making choices feel like effort rather than freedom, or if you prefer one clear social hub instead of many equal spaces, Explora can feel a bit too open. And if large shows, scheduled entertainment, or feeling like a VIP are important to you, Explora may feel understated.
Neither Yacht Club nor Explora is better. They're built around different ways of relaxing, and the truth is, you don't have to choose a side. We loved both, and we know many people who do too. And this is where the comparison naturally ends. What matters isn't which one is more luxurious, it's which one asks less of you and gives you more of what you personally need. If you like, tell us in the comments which side you lean toward, or if, like us, you see yourself somewhere in between. If you want to know more in detail how we personally ranked Explora against MSC Yacht Club during our 36 days on board in 2025, please look at this video that we linked in the description. If you enjoy this kind of cruise content, where we focus less on hype and more on how different experiences actually feel, then you might enjoy what we do here. We explore ships, suites, dining and destinations with a calm, honest perspective, helping you understand what might fit you best. If that sounds like your kind of cruising, we'd love to have you with us. Thank you so much for watching and happy cruising!